Unstoppable.
I want to go to a place where people have the energy to make changes right then.
Unbeatable.
What I want to do is show them how to totally change the game.
Undeniable.
He did not know who he was fucking with.
This is Unfuckwithable.
To be unfuckwithable, you have to be at total peace and be able to be at a place where nothing that anyone says or does can fuck with you or move you off your peace or point. Mr. Unfuckwithable. Hey everyone, Ike here, Big Ike from UFW Lifestyle. I call myself Big Ike because I want to remember and always think about the bigness within me and the same bigness within all of you. It's that bigness that does everything. Big Ike is boundless and measureless. Little Ike, the little ego, well, think about that as being like a drop in the ocean. The ego is a drop. Big Ike is the ocean. Well, Big Ike and I are going to talk this week about relationships. I know usually women talk about those things, but this week we're going to give you a male perspective on relationships. Typically, we think about them as being between two people. Man and a woman, man and man, woman and woman. I'm not going to get into that because I believe in celebrating whatever way you want a couple. However, relationships go way beyond just two people. We are energy creators. Whenever two entities that can exchange energy are close together, they're in a relationship. It could be you and your child, you and a parent, you and coworkers, you and your pets, you and your plants, or even you and a rock, like a gemstone. You are sending out energy. That person or thing is reflecting energy back to you. Now, before they reflect it, they're also absorbing that energy. So you send out energy, they absorb it, and they may reflect it back to you. A lot like a mirror. You send out an image, that mirror reflects an image back to you. So with energy and relationships, we can look at it from a male and a female perspective. The male energy is the direct energy. The female energy is receptive. Now, I'm not talking about men and women per se because we all have within us male and female energies that constantly act and react. These energies go backwards and forwards. Someone sends out energy, be it through a thought or an emotion or a gift. The other person can choose to receive that and reflect energy back to you. So, I can say to someone, that's a very, very nice ABCD. Car, smile, dress, shirt, what have you. They can receive that, and then once they've done that, they can choose if they want to reflect back and how they want to reflect back to me. It could be positive. Thank you very much. It could be negative. What are you talking about? Who are you talking to? They can choose how they want to reflect back. When they reflect back, they are sending energy back to me. So, decisions. I can decide how I want to send energy. They can decide how they want to take it in, assimilate it, and if they want to, they can decide how they want to reflect back. Very important here. The more energy you amass, the more people you affect, whether you know it or not. Quick story. There was a guy in India who was so advanced that he could send out energy where the whole town could feel him or perceive it when he came to town. He had that much energy. Now look at us. Even though you're moving within a crowd, or you're talking to a group, you are sending out energy. Whether or not they're actively listening, people do perceive energy. We are all energy creators. We all send out energy. But the question is, are you sending out the energy that you want to send out? Have you thought about it? Are you doing it in a conscious manner? Or are you going through life just reflecting on events, circumstances, what have you? You can determine, regardless of your circumstance, the kind of energy you want to send out to your mate, to your peers, to your family, whomever. There are also ways for you to generate more energy or less energy. But more on that in a future podcast. Today, let's talk about imaging and reflection. When you're sending out energy, the person that you're sending out to can decide to, again, absorb it and reflect back energy to you. Like a conversation. Hello, how's it going? I'm doing very well. How are you? How's the wife, the children, what have you? That could be done in a very positive way or a negative way. When energy goes back and forth in a positive way, we build a positive cloud of energy around us. That positive cloud makes us want to interact more with that person. If we send out and receive over and over again, I'm going to call it negative energy, that makes us least likely wanting to spend time with that person. So, as you interact with your friends and your loved ones, always bear in mind the kind of energy you are sending out. Well, how do you do that? Well, one way is through emotions, through tones, and also speech. However, research has been done that says most of what we receive in communication is not through language, it's through emotion and energy. So, it's very important to think about or reflect on the energy or emotion that you're giving out, because the other person is going to receive that again and reflect that. If you look at a happy couple again, they probably are sending out and receiving high or positive energy, and they're probably very, very conscious of it, as well as they work at it. And you've seen couples too who are very dour, sour. You can tell. More than likely, they spend time sending out and receiving low or negative energy. So what happens? What can you do? Well, the first thing is to reflect upon that. Are you sending out low energy, or are you reflecting high energy? It's up to you. It is said we're known by the 5 people that we spend the most time with. If you want to get better at a craft or skill, spend time with people who are better than you. Why? Because you're going to get that energy from them. You're going to assimilate that and reflect that back to them. As well, you're going to reflect that in your life. Even without knowing it or not thinking about it, that energy transfer will take place. This is life. I think that Earth is an energy lab. Down here, we learn how to generate and how to transfer energy. Because down here, things move very slowly. We can perceive, most of us, very easily how we communicate and how people receive energy from us, either through a smile or some reflection. Most of us can easily tell if people are receiving energy from us and how they're doing that. Down here, we use usually very low forms of energy. In other words, the lowest form is probably physical, where we exchange things. Very easy. The next level up may be emotional energy, where we exchange feelings. And then from that point up, it can be thoughts as well too. Meaning that there are some people who can, quote unquote, read thoughts. In other words, they have the level of advancement. They can either read thoughts of someone close to them or perceive the thoughts of someone who's far away. How many times have you called someone and they said, I was just thinking about you? That shows you people do perceive and receive thoughts. They can be close to you or they can be far from you. Well, how far can it go? There are some people who can communicate with those who have left the body. These are called spiritual mediums, where they can actually perceive the thoughts and send thoughts to those who are, quote unquote, dead. When we say dead, we mean people who are dead in the physical form. Again, the bigness within you is boundless and measureless. Oftentimes we think that once we got in a certain level of education, that's all there is. No. That's all there is in our society in terms of advancement to get PhDs, and nothing against that. But in terms of true learning and true knowledge, there is truly no limit. So there are some people who can communicate with those who have dropped the body or dead, and I'm sure there are people who can even go way beyond that. No limits. So, as you move through life, think about the energy, be it through thoughts, emotions, even gifts, how you send out to people, especially those who you relate with very, very closely. Think also about the things and the energy you want to communicate to them as well. When someone sends you energy, be it through a gift or through words, maybe through emotions or even thoughts, you can determine how you want to react to them. You can determine if you want to spiral that upwards in a positive way or spiral that downwards in a negative way. When you spiral that upwards, you receive all the gifts of that goodness. When you spiral downwards, you also receive the negative benefits, if you will, of that energy. We call that also karma. Whatever you send out comes back to you. Ike here, UFW Lifestyle, saying, you are an energy person. You determine how you want to relate to other people. You are in charge of the image that you send out, even though they are in charge of how they want to reflect. You are the one who determines what you want to send out. So I'm leaving you with a question. Are you spiraling upwards or are you spiraling downwards? It's up to you. Ike Johnson, UFW Lifestyle, saying bye now.
Thank you for listening to the UFW podcast with your host, Big Ike Johnson. Follow Big Ike Johnson at UFW Lifestyle on Instagram and Facebook. Find out more about the UFW Lifestyle online. Visit UFWlifestyle.com for tips and tools that will help you to start living a life that is truly unfuckwithable. Bye now.